and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We're reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. A tanker loaded with petrol is said to have exploded this Saturday at about midday around the Diko junction along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, claiming several lives. The petrol tanker was said to have exploded after minor accidents and some residents of the area going to scoop its contents. Scores were reportedly burned to death, while several others sustained various degrees of burns. Reacting to the sad incident, the Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago, in a statement by his chief press secretary Bologi Ibrahim, described the explosion as worrisome, heartbreaking and unfortunate. He specifically sympathized with the families of the victims and prayed that Allah repose the souls of the departed and heals the injured. He, however, cautioned the people to always be responsible and give priority to their safety. The governor has directed all relevant ministries, departments and agencies to do what is necessary, while urging the security agents to ensure security in the area. The federal government has reaffirmed commitment to driving economic growth and transforming the nation's healthcare system, as the Sir Emeka Offor Foundation announced a donation of $5 million to the Rotary Foundation to address maternal mortality in Nigeria. At a courtesy visit from the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Rotary Foundation, Mark Daniel Maloney, to the presidential villa, Vice President Kashim Shettima lauded the significant contributions of Rotary International and other stakeholders to Nigeria's development. State House correspondent Abdul Rahman Jibrilla reports.
How do you do, Your Excellency? I'm Mark Maloney, Chair of the Trustees.
Chair of the Trustees, Rotary International, Mark Maloney, received by Vice President Kashim Shettima, affirming Nigeria's readiness for economic resurgence, seeking deeper involvement in combating environmental challenges such as desertification and deforestation through initiatives like the Great Green Wall, assuring government's continued investment in education to address Nigeria's youthful population, noting that education is the ultimate game changer, which offers the opportunity for even the most disadvantaged to rise and make an impact.
Rotary is a globally recognized organization that doesn't need any introduction. We appreciate you, we value you, and be rest assured that we don't take your appreciation for granted. We'll continue that partnership. The President is fully committed to repositioning the Nigerian nation. It's not easy to change course. It's almost a revolutionary leader because he took far-reaching decisions in the past 2 years than any leader. Some of them very unpopular decisions, but for the best of the nation, than any leader in the contemporary history of this country.
Mark Maloney commended Nigeria's strides in healthcare, especially the eradication of wild polio virus, attributing the success to strong government partnership.
We are looking forward to another continuing partnership and a substantial commitment by him to expand our efforts with maternal and child health in the country.
Here in Nigeria, we also have a philanthropist. The Sir Emeka Offor Foundation is one that has stood out at least over the last year and a half while I've been in the Ministry of Health by the many contributions, philanthropic contributions that they have made. And I was so glad to hear the intention to donate $5 million by the Sir Emeka Offor Foundation to help and partner with Rotary Foundation to deal with maternal mortality.
So I'm happy to be your friend. I'm happy because we're doing the right thing. And then I will support nothing that I say in supporting the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to achieve this objective of making health services affordable to the innermost part of this country.
The foundation has funded $34 million in health-related projects in Nigeria over the past years. From the State House, Abdulrahman Jibrilla, NTA News.
Sequel to the fallout of the budget's defense by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation from the two chambers of the National Assembly, a joint committee has engaged the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning and the Director General Budget Office to address the areas of concern in the budgetary allocation. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the issue of infrastructure deficits among the MDAs under the Information Ministry was on the front burner during the engagements.
After hours of discussion over grossly inadequate budgetary allocation for the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, the Joint Committee made case for Federal Radio Corporation and the NTA as public broadcasters and image makers that require special attention.
Do you know that more than 50% of Radio Nigeria stations are shut down? They are no more transmitting. It's either there is no power supply and they do not have generators to power these offices.
The person who is representing the people in the House of Reps should have a voice so that we can all give you what our people really critically need and you put it inside the budget. Not to sit down here, DG, and decide what will happen because there is money. I think the whole orientation of budgeting, DG budget needs to change.
I come from the same senatorial zone, and in specific, the same local government with the Minister of Information. The NTA office in Bida is not functioning. The FRCN in Bida, we are supporting it on our own, and not through funding of the government. So, except for salaries that are being paid. So I think this is a very serious thing. If we want to launder our images in nation, then we must be ready to pay for it.
The ball is still in your court. You can still do something by liaising with the appropriation, which will make move from our end. But if all of us can join out to do this, I believe that much can still be achieved.
The Joint Committee members thereafter listened to the representatives of the Minister and Budget Office calling for urgent action to address the envelope system.
The funding of MDAs across the Federation and MDAs also including the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation at present through our envelope budgeting system, and the size of the envelope that has been given to the MDAs is actually determined by the priorities and available resources available. And in this same method, the MDAs, each MDA is expected to allocate resources to take care of all their program projects and within the limit of their envelope ceiling.
As much as I do not like the envelope system, and I hope we will be able to change it together, because I have seen what it does, but that is why whatever it generates, we take back to Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council to moderate.
An executive session was held, after which the National Assembly and Budget Office agreed to review the budgetary allocation and further continued with a tripartite meeting to have a smooth envelope system for the Ministry of Information. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force is believed to be playing a multifaceted role in society, extending far beyond their commonly perceived duties of maintaining law and order in response to the spirit and letter of the Police Act 2020. To this end, International Alert, a non-governmental organization, has pulled together a team of experts in Abuja to assess the changes within the force since 2020. The objectives include highlighting significant roles that often go unrecognized and underscoring the need for greater awareness and appreciation of diverse responsibilities of the police and the public in enhancing internal security. A range of experts at the peer review meeting agreed that efficient service delivery by the police requires collaboration with the public to bridge the trust deficit through increased community engagements, strategic communications, and human rights training.
And the change process is something that has been going on for a long time, and we are at the phase now where we need to start putting those changes into action.
To be able to train them in such a way that they are able to imbibe skills, practical skills for field operations.
With a view to strengthening what is working. And we also want to understand what are the gaps. And in assessing the gaps, we want to say to ourselves, which of the gaps do we blame on the police personnel? Which of the gaps do we blame on government? Which of the gaps do we blame on the society?
We are currently doing this in 9 states, including the FCT. Profiling of these locations, draw from what we have pulled out from the research. And we are very happy that in most locations, the police is happy to have these conversations, as well as the different trouble spots where you would have hitherto thought that that relationship, has very little potential for improvement. We have seen the public very excited in states like Abia, in states like Kaduna, Sokoto, Lagos. We've seen the willingness, to sit together collaboratively because the public recognize the importance of the police in internal security.
In other news, the Ministry of Works has taken bold steps to up the game of its engineers and project supervisors with a 2-day retreat in Abuja. This is to speed up the pace of delivering top-notch road infrastructure under the presidential agenda on road infrastructure development. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
With more than 2,000 inherited projects in its kitty and 300 more initiated by the Renewed Hope movement, quality and timely delivery no doubt require intelligent supervision.
We cannot continue with old method and expect to have improvement on our road infrastructure.
And the ministry leaves nothing to chances. Its controllers, engineers and project supervisors across the country are back in the class. With a professional engineer on the driver's seat and the best hands in the industry, the talking heads, the result a combination of commitment and passion for delivery.
Let us place the nation ahead of each and every of our interests.
And use your support and cooperation. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will surely succeed on his renewed hope agenda, which is to put smile on the faces of Nigerians.
And before the goodbyes, the minister directed that speed bumps must be removed from federal roads across the country.
The National Assembly had directed that these bombs should be dismantled. But even on our own, we've seen the menace of these bombs. So what we have done is that dismantle the bombs, apply to controllers, and for the locations, and then we get through the PAM secretary and to me, and we approve, acceptable locations for these bombs.
The engineers and project supervisors are expected to leave here with a new mindset to project execution, and that translates to prompt delivery of the dividends of the Renewed Hope agenda on road infrastructure. Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports in moments. Stay with us.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their socio-economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Thanks for staying with us. Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has commended President Bola Tinubu for his unwavering healthcare reforms across the nation. This was at a stakeholders' engagement to address challenges confronting effective healthcare service delivery at the grassroots. Jonathan Omajali reports.
Health is wealth.
The health sector remains a top priority for the current administration, as demonstrated by the recent upgrade of 70 primary healthcare centers. This effort underscores the government's commitment to providing accessible, affordable and quality healthcare for all, particularly for the most vulnerable populations.
Kogi State government is committed to revitalizing our PHC system. We have already revitalized over 70 PHC directly. I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his unwavering support and attention to our PHC system nationwide.
The one-day stakeholders engagement meeting brought together key figures in the health sector, including religious and traditional leaders, to discuss strategies for strengthening the primary healthcare system and enhancing service delivery.
I advocate for increased investment in our health facilities and personal training to ensure broader access to essential medical supply.
We want our chairman to be up and doing. The primary health care is directly under you.
What we have done today and will continue doing is to remind ourselves that strengthening our PHC system is not only in the hands of government officials, be it federal or state, but stakeholders.
Part of the measures we are going to put in place is to ensure that this kind of meeting is being held at least quarterly, so that ideas can be shared, we can talk, let us know the challenges, and let's see how we can improve on what we already have.
Sustainability is also very essential.
The state government has made huge investment in the primary healthcare, and this engagement serves as a pivotal step in repositioning this essential sector. Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party says its responsibility as the major opposition party in the land must not be lost on the altar of mere leadership tussle, especially where members are so guided by the extant provisions of the law. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, at a media briefing in Abuja, said the party, as a law-abiding entity, was constrained to obey the latest court order in the leadership crisis surrounding the office of the party's National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The tussle over the office of National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party took a new turn following the party's receipt of a stay of execution order, stopping the enforcement of an earlier appeal court judgment, removing Senator Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary. The order restrained the party and its agents from giving effect to the appeal court order, recognizing Ude Okoye as National Secretary. Deputy National Spokesperson of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, emphasized that the party is obliged as a law-abiding party to respect the order of the court.
We must regulate our conduct to conform with civilized practices to avoid throwing the baby with the bathwater.
He appealed to PDP members to be restrained and law-abiding in waiting for the final position of the court on the matter, stressing that several precedences serve as references. Therefore, the need to be guided as a party. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our top stories. Several people reportedly killed in tanker explosion at Dikko Junction, Abuja, Kaduna Road. National Assembly approves review of Ministry of Information and National Orientation's 2025 budgetary allocation. And achieving renewed hope agenda on roads, Ministry of Works targets human capital development. Soul winning for Jesus Christ through evangelism is a mandate commissioned to all Christians and a pathway to enjoying the blessings of God. This was the crux of the message at the annual Emmaus Crusade International, organized by the Celestial Church of Christ, Ark of Covenant Parish, Sabon Lugbe, Abuja. Ibrahim Belogunda reports.
It is a prophetic night that is characterized with deliverance and healing sessions, as well as thanksgiving, acknowledging God's faithfulness over the church. The all-night annual Celestial Church of Christ Crusade featured healings, deliverance, breakthrough, salvation, and prophetic declaration. Declaring the crusade open, host prophet Adenuga Oluseyi and other spiritual leaders spoke on the need to always live a Christ-like life and always reach out to those in need.
Christ is our shepherd, so I have to bring everybody in. Let us be in Christ, because if you are in Christ, you will be mindful of negativity that will be coming out from your mouth.
God will continue to empower the convener so that he can continue this good work. And for all the committee, God will be with us so that we can continue to do this work, because this is our calling.
I can see that everybody enter this program with cry and they go back with happiness.
People are coming from far away to attend this program, and it's power packed. The impact is vast, and honestly, people are blessed with it.
The crusade also featured song ministration from various units of the church, including gifts for widows and the less privileged in attendance. The 2024 annual Celestial Church of Christ Crusade had the theme, Key to Open Heaven. In Abuja, Ibrahim Belogunda, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.